What is going on, everyone? Badger here. Should have liked and sub, and let's get into this. And yeah, much like that VD that your uncle got back in Saigon, he just can't get rid of. Sweet Baby Inc. keeps coming back, and that is because while the reality is most of at least this corner of the internet, and of course this smart and beautiful audience, the ones that are liking and subbing, everyone knows who Sweet Baby Inc. and the consultancy companies that accompany them, Gamer X, Black Girl Gamers, and so on and so forth. But the thing is, even though they're basically done with us and we're done with them, thank God for Brutus Rambo, DEI detected, etc., etc. They still got a bunch of games coming out, and they still have to maintain an image to the people not paying attention to this, the normies, if you will. And that's where we come to this Flintlock Siege of Dawn, a game we talked about, before. Well, now it's coming out, a game that once might have been good depending on who you talk to, but with the influence, and like I said, they take something that either was already just a little woke but passable, or something that might have been, had some gameplay and you could have looked around some things. A Sweet Baby Inc. comes in and they make it very obvious. And of course, another light-skinned black female lead for Spoken Anyone, which of course this is getting comparisons to. So this is, again, let's start back. This is, we first got aware of this from Cabrutus. Shout out Cabrutus Rambo. He said, hey guys, I added another game to my, and again, this is a couple months ago. I added a game to my curation list. The game is called Flintlock, The Siege of Dawn, and is shown in the physical copy of Edge magazine. It involves Kim Blair, or Nerd Wars' sweetheart. He can save her. It says, I have waited a bit before deciding to add this one because a dev from the Flintlock team reached out to me through mail stating that they eradicated the SBI part and basically remade it completely. And we find out that that is not true. And again, it's got the whole list of her talking about someone from the publisher talking about Kim Blair and their influence. And oh, she took the wonderful base layer Derek had, this is the highlighted part, and the world, and just elevated it. And I think it's so funny. Some of these comments, she says, being a black woman in the world, things never really came easy for me. Even in a space where there's only 2% black developers working in the industry, I always have to constantly prove myself. Again, and it just, she goes into a whole thing about how important Kim Blair and having the protagonist be black and all of that is. Then Grums come in. Enter a wild Grums has appeared. And you can see this back in March. More proof that Sweet Baby Inc. ruins game. Sweet Baby Inc. game Flintlock by A44 Games has been overrun by woke. This is, he says, I used to work there. Flintlock was a good project with lots of potential, and it was ruined. And then that goes on, rumor and all that, but from a former dev that goes on to talk about that. And then here, more Grums. Did you know that the protagonist of Flintlock used to be white? And then they go on again to talk about how the CEO and the casting director joining the studio, and that their first actions were to change the character and to hire Sweet Baby Inc. and change the character. And of course, we all know, if you've been paying attention to what Kim Blair says, the first thing she'll say is, have you tried making them mixed race, black, light-skinned, lesbian? Again, here your Andrea Top-Sajaro is rumored to have used the company's funds and manpower to power her personal agenda and projects on initiatives not related to the game. So just a hope, and again, all things related to inclusion and diversity and DEI, things like that. And so here, I'll go to the actual, this was the last thing we heard from Grums before we go to the current one, because the game's coming out and they've got the save face, what little they don't even really have left. After nearly 2 years of these DEI changes at A44, the damage had been done. At this point, the studio was purchased for 175 million, an unusually high sum for a small studio, by the way, by Kepler Interactive in September of 2021, a gaming collective fund whose founder also founded the Kowloon Knights Gaming Fund. It was at this point that Andrea, the CEO, left the company. Perhaps this was the start of cleanup of the game's troubles, which here's my advice to Kepler and the good folks left holding the bag at A44. You reverted the SBI changes, and again, that's not confirmed, by the way, if the changes, okay, so what you're saying is if the changes have been done, then there would be no need for a pre-release attack, giggity, against fans. So I still doubt as to whether the changes have been reverted, because the protagonist still looks changed, but Grums, you reverted the SBI changes. Good. Announce that you have terminated. That's what I'm saying. Like, announce that you did that, if nothing else. That you have terminated services with SBI and watch your PR soar. Gamers will flock to you. Don't try to hide it. Exactly. This is the one virtue signal you want to do. Announce that you separated and it was a mistake. Keep your MC a POC, but don't tokenize the character. Make it keep your main character a person of color, but don't tokenize the character. If you want a black woman, fine, but don't just write her as a black woman. She can't be a shallow stereotype. Has to be rich, nuanced, velvety, rich mahogany. Don't just trivialize it and turn it into a stereotype. Remove any sermons or preachiness or anti-white. That's the big one. And anti-male. Yeah, racism and sexism, putting men down to put the chick over and look good. Don't lecture your audience. That's the biggest one. And across the board, when people, even if they don't want to put it into words, they don't like being preached to, especially progressive people that are already on your side, and you preach to them and you put them on not your side. Embrace the gamer and they will embrace you. Good luck and my genuine best wishes. So that's the last we heard it. And then, of course, following it being added to the list, of course, had a little bit of a meltdown over there. The senior operation growth manager for Kepler, the ones that bought that and inherited the game. And again, still don't know, haven't heard anything about that being confirmed, that they got rid of the connections regardless. And shout out to Vera Dark, for pointing out that now there's a little ad campaign going out. Flintlock, here's the gamer who loves to talk shit about us. The Flintlock, the Siege of Dawn is a hit in need of a crowd. Here we go. Kotaku, Flintlock, Siege of Dawn looks like Forspoken, but actually good this time. And Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, this was a little more honest, a competent Souls-like with a rough demo. But I tell you, they really out ahead. They need to. The push is there, and sure, positive spin. They have a long way to go. If it is in fact true. If it is in fact true that they have separated and they didn't do anything that Sweet Baby Inc. suggested, and they've completely separated now that the Kepler bought them, they need to start letting us know about that. Because hey, if they are open and honest about it, and that this is a full, rich character that is very important, all right, like I said, want to overlook that AAA ban, that 2-year ban on buying games? Well, like I said, if they don't attack us, if it seems like it's made by people that don't hate us, which I'm still doubtful on this, but if it is, then hey, get my support. Anyway, let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. If you have done that, thank you. If you're gonna do that, thank you. And
well,